Hello, Coach Tina here. You guys, are you ready for our masterclass? We are about to get started. And I already have Margaret watching. Wonderful, Margaret. So glad to see you here. You get all kinds of gold stars for your attendance this week. I hope that you know that and are honoring yourself and giving yourself some big kudos for showing up and caring about yourself and your future and wanting to get things done. I love that. We are going to get started right away. Let me take the banner off. And as you know, this is the From Procrastination to Desired Destination 3-day masterclass. We are on our last day, and I'm so excited about the material today. I know I was excited about all the other days, but today I just feel like it's just so exciting, all this insights that I'm hoping you'll glean from this. Covering the agenda, we have gone through our secret superhero, our summer superhero. We have talked about chilling and still getting things done. And today we are talking about the secret to not getting burned this summer because you didn't meet your goals. So obviously I'm using my beach theme, my metaphor for the summer, having fun in the sun and still getting things done. But today we're going to talk about that secret that's going to make it all come together, because you may have loved the superhero that we did, the practice that we did. You may have loved the chill checklist technique that we did yesterday. But how are you going to actually apply these things? How is this going to work for you? Well, today's objective is for you to decide on not doing it alone, but to have a beach buddy. And who that's going to be, you're going to name them today. So let's get started. And we're going to just jump right in with the number one secret to not getting burned this summer. What do you think that is? It's not as hard as you think. And I'm staring at the comments here. So if you think you have the answer, don't hesitate to throw it out there. This wouldn't necessarily be the number one thing I would have thought of 10, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I'm going to go with protection. Okay. And I know that sounds funny, but when I was a young girl, I remember specifically we would spend the summers, we would put the baby oil on and we would hold foil up so that we could get the sun to reflect on us. And I remember telling my stepdad, who was worried about my skin, he said that he didn't think that was a good idea. And I said, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. And he said, well, skin cancer. And, that was way back in the day when cancer seemed so far, far away. And I said, I'm never going to get that. And he said, well, you could get it from all this sun exposure. And I said, well, if I die when I'm 40, at least I'll have had a good life. So when you're young and you do dumb things and then later it comes back to haunt you? Well, I have a scar. It's mostly healed, thank goodness, from 15 years ago, ironically, when I was 40-ish. And I found out that I had melanoma. And instantly that moment came back to me and I went, uh-oh, what did I do? It's like I cursed myself. Oh, my life will have been fine at age 40. I will have lived a long life. It will be over at that point. Not good, right? So thankfully, I have been just fine with the melanoma. Everything was removed. I got it early enough, but protection is key, right? So if you don't want to get burned, you have to do the things that protect you. And you are the one that needs to be in this game for you. You need to be protecting yourself and guarding your goals. Okay? You need to make your dreams the priority. No one else is going to do this for you. Only you can prevent the burn. Okay? You thought I was going to say forest fires, but that's a whole nother concept. But of course, I loved the little lifeguard thing here because it made me think of how we would go to the beach in the summers when I was a kid, and we always would park ourselves kind of close to the lifeguard station because, we wanted to be safe, but we really wanted to have that look at the lifeguard. We wanted to feel fancy in our skinny little bodies and have someone notice us. But the true truth of the matter, like when I started having my kids and there were too many of them to watch on the beach, I wanted to be near that lifeguard station so that I had someone there with me that could be helping me and, lending me that hand if I needed it. So protection is our number one secret. But how is that going to help us? What are we thinking here? Well, a form of protection is safety. And I think that what we need in this situation is some certainty. Because with certainty, you have a different feeling about what's possible. So Tony Robbins likes to say that of the 6 human needs, one of the very basic ones is that we have a need for certainty and we have a need for uncertainty. And as we're looking at new processes, we need the certainty that it's going to work for us, because we might have those tapes running in our head or those experiences from our past that are saying to us, maybe you aren't someone that does really well with discipline. So you have no discipline, but what if there was certainty in the structure that was available to you? What if instead of chaos, you had a structured, disciplined environment? You had boundaries. I think it's interesting because a lot of times people that were brought up without boundaries, that lived in chaotic homes, that's their normal. And so when you go into a more structured environment, it feels awkward, like planning and organizing. That feels like you need to push that away because your normal is chaos and things going on all around you and distractions. And so sometimes you just need someone to point that out to you and to remind you that it's within the structure that you can find the success that you're looking for. Or maybe you think that your situation is so unique that no one is going to be able to help you, or no one's really going to understand who you are. But what if instead of that train of thought, you actually had someone on your side who was pointing out your strengths, who was helping you figure out how you tick, how you work, how your style can actually be amplified to benefit you instead of bringing you down? Maybe you think you can't change. A lot of people say, well, I'm too old for doing the dreams of my youth. That was something from before, but now you're just not sure about it, that it would work for you. Well, what if instead of the it can't change or I can't change or I don't know how to change mentality, you had the tools and the skills instead to actually be able to open up to those opportunities and to have that support that really builds you up as you go through those things. I know that many times in my life, I have needed that sort of support. Or maybe your uncertainty is from the realm of it hasn't worked for you in the past, so you don't have any motivation. You just aren't sure what's actually possible. And those can be things that definitely can cause uncertainty. But the counterbalance to that is to have daily practices, routines, things that will support you. It's just like, there's one thought that I want to have, and it's the next slide. So I'm going to hold right there and talk about this, because all of this is possible if you have someone that can help you. And I'm mad at myself for switching those slides. So let me go to this one. Oh, I am missing a slide. Let me see if it double thinged for me. So, all right. So what we were talking about was regular application. And just like sunscreen, right? You need to have that. You can't just put it on once and then go out in the sun and not get burnt. Throughout the day, when you're in that intense sun, you've got to be reapplying. And the same thing happens with us with our practices. You can't just set your goal and then never think about it again for 90 days. And then on the 89th day, think, I'm going to get everything done. You have to be diligent. You have to be involved in it. This is that effort that you have to take on your own. There is no magic wand. We don't get to snap our fingers, unfortunately. But with effort, with time put into the project, we will be able to succeed. So you need routines and good habits for sure. You need intentional practices, and they don't have to be hard. I'm not saying that it is a hard process, but it has to be intentional and focused, ongoing, and you have to use proven measures. You have to do things like you wouldn't just buy baby oil to put on your skin, right? You would want to get something that had a high SPF, right? What is it? The sun protection factor. Sunlight protection factor, I think is what that SPF. And the higher the number, the better your chances to not get burned. So what does this have to do with you? What I was saying was, which is why I was thrown off by this last slide, how do you get the sunscreen in that awkward spot in the back, right? You need someone to help you to make those applications. So what you need is a beach buddy, someone who's going to be there for you as you go through the steps and processes, who's going to be available and helpful and enjoy the journey with you. Now, your beach buddy can be anybody you name. In fact, if you want, go ahead and throw the name of the person that's closest to you that you know can support you in this way and really will be there for you as you go through the process. We want to celebrate them. We want to remind ourselves who our support group is, our circle of people around us that get us, right? And if you're struggling to name that person, that's understandable. Sometimes as we grow and morph and move to the next level, we start to recognize that there are people around us that maybe don't have our best interests at heart. They have their own best interests at heart, right? Now, I love that Margaret is talking about her bestie, Maria. Isn't that great to have somebody there with you that is a support for you? And coaches like me, aren't you sweet? That's funny because I wasn't going to put that up there, but when I pressed the hide, it moved up and became the show. So I love that you brought me up, Margaret, because of course that's what I'm thinking, because like I said, this challenge has my name all over it. My name is inside the word procrastination, which upset me a little bit when I first noticed it. I thought, I could define myself as someone who's a procrastinator. I mean, my name is in the word. And then I went, you know what? My name is in the word destination. And that better defines me. That's really who I'm meant to be. Sure, I've been a procrastinator, but I'm moving towards being someone who always reaches their goals. And so let me tell you a little bit more about what I recommend as a buddy and how I could offer you my services over the summer, because we don't have to stop working together. We can go into a much more in-depth process than just the two techniques and the secret that I've shared so far. So what if we could work together this summer and stay on track? So instead of it ending now and you not being able to work with me again until the fall, because I'm only going to be coaching within this framework over the summer, the one that we posted, the one that I'm about to tell you about. And it is an opportunity for you to do one-on-one with me, to have personalized sessions that really work on your issue, where you don't have to worry about, raising your hand and getting up in front of everybody and explaining your situation. We're going to get that all ironed out one-on-one. And then we're going to have what I am tagging as guaranteed breakthroughs. A breakthrough is when you have a shift in your thinking that allows you to move forward and do the thing that you want to do. Because the thing is, you when you write down your goals, when you say these are the things that you want to do, when you have your dreams, I 100% believe that you are capable of doing that. There is nothing that's holding you back except what's inside of your mind. It is your mind that is telling you that it isn't possible, that's making you remember your limits, and it's not supporting you in the way that it should. And that's just based on programming from as you were growing up and the different things that happened to you. As soon as you start to see things from a different perspective, that's what we call a breakthrough. Because once you see your limited thinking in a situation, you will instantly be able to overcome it. Now, will you slip back a little bit? Maybe, but that's the point of working on it regularly, applying the skills. I really believe that that is a way that you can move forward more. And then there's going to be scheduled times when you can check in throughout the summer and be able to get back on track, to ask questions, to get clarity on where it is you are and what's happening with you. So there's going to be the intimate meeting, there's going to be clarity, there's going to be accountability, and so much more. So I call this my summer project formula for success. You'll notice the acronym is SPF. Earlier, I said SPF was that sunscreen protection. So we know that the higher the number, the greater the protection, right? But what I have created for us is a 3-month program, and it can be parceled out 1 month at a time, or it can be, you can go all in and get all 3 months because that's the higher number of the protection, right? But what's going to happen is June is our time to lock in what you specifically need. We're going to work on your breakthroughs. We're going to define exactly what goals you're working on. Really get clear on what needs to happen for you this summer. And then July and August will be maintenance, but in a fashion that allows you to keep that momentum going. Your habits, your routines, all of that are going to be working together. And it's not going to be a surprise at the end of the summer how you're doing. We may have to adjust and work things through, but we're going to be doing it together in a manner that works with your style. I don't like to teach that there's one way to do anything and only my way will work for you. I like to give suggestions and work with you with the tools that you have, the background you have, the things you're already exposed to or working on. We just make them work better for you. It's kind of like having a tutor for your life. And during this challenge, there are some bonuses that if you purchase this package, so after this challenge, anybody that gets introduced to this summer won't have access to the challenge only bonuses. But what you will have access to if you purchase during this time period is a 30 days audio series that's going to give you daily motivation. It will come in the form of an email, and you will have that audio that you can listen to. I also will be giving you access to a course that I created in mastermind.com that's called Overcoming Obstacles. I call it my obstacle course, but the point of it is you are able to get into the course and go through the steps of overcoming obstacles. Because a lot of times we have these self-imposed things that cause us not to be able to overcome. And so we get blocked and stuck and unable to move forward. And that course, it's about an hour-long course, but I add modules in that are specific to problems that you are having. And that way you will be able to get your problems addressed directly. The other thing that we talked about is the guaranteed breakthrough. I'm not just going to work with you one time and then if it doesn't work, oh well. We will be monitoring your plan for success, and we will be looking at what your benchmarks are and moving you ahead at least one level in the area that you're working on. And we'll have that all defined in your contract. We'll know exactly what it is that we're working on. But until you reach that, we're going to continue to meet and get you to that point where you're starting to feel that momentum and you're working on your own. And then the special offering I have for one, if you're one of the first 5 people who sign up, and I do still have openings in this, you will be able to have chat or text support, or there's this thing called Voxer that I can tell you about, but we could use a different technique if that you don't have access to Voxer. But that will allow you to message me throughout the summer when you're having an issue, and within a reasonable time period, I will get back to you and give you my feedback on what you could do in that situation. I find this really helpful with my mentor with decision making. Sometimes you just need that third party who knows you and knows what you're going through that can really support you in that way. So I really hope you take advantage of that, because this is not something I can give to everybody. Now, special pricing on this. You can purchase just the month of June, or just the month of July, or just the month of August. Like, you may feel like you know your goals, you know what you're doing, you have your habits, all that stuff. You just need some check-ins during the month of July and August, where every week you're going to be telling me how your progress is going, discussing any roadblocks you've hit, and getting feedback in ways that you could move forward. Or you could just decide that June is all you have time for. You're going to get this started going, and that's great. So you've got June, July, and August. There's more time in August than there is in July because of the holiday. So that's what the timing is about. Or you can purchase all of them for $197. Okay. And that's basically $10 off each of those months. And then the really cool thing that I'm wanting to do for you guys is, if you complete the month of the program, you will be getting a reward, a bonus of half of the money that you pay back. And the reason I'm doing that is I've always had this thing that drives me crazy about paying the gym. I don't know what it is, but when I pay for a membership to something, it tends to demotivate me. And now I have this mind block where I just don't go. And I don't understand it, but it happens. And I know it happens to other people too. So what I have decided, I always had this fantasy with the gyms that I wanted to pay. I would even be willing to pay more than the normal amount for my gym membership if every time I went to the gym, they would give me money back. Like, you walk in the door and they're like, here's your $5 today. Yay, you. And even though it would be my $5, I would be excited about getting that money back, right? So I decided that that is what we're going to do in our coaching program. So at the end of June, you get half of that rate back. And remember, if you're buying in on the big package, each of those numbers is $10 off. So it'd be half of 57 or half of 67 or half of 77 as you go through the summer months. But if you're buying it month by month, then you get half the money back to apply to the next month if it's working for you, which it should be. So I am so excited about this, you guys. I think that this is going to be something that you truly will benefit from. And I hope that you're going to want to take advantage of the offer. So there's 2 ways you can proceed. When you go to this link, it's tinagearing.com summer-project-formula. You are going to be given the option to purchase June, July, August, or the 3-month package. If you are not sure, if you have questions, if there is something you need to ask me at this point, but you want to reserve one of those 5 spots for just $7, you can reserve your spot on that same page. And then what you'll do is schedule a meeting with me, and we'll look at everything you've got going on, and we will discuss the best way to handle the package. And I think that will work out really well for you. But if there's any question at all, before the 6th of June, you have got to purchase this and get back with me and let me know, and you'll have access to all of the challenge specials. You can email any questions you have to me at hello@tinagearing.com. You can call me if you're in the US. My number is there. You can Facebook message me, direct message, however you want to do that. Or you can jump on this StreamYard call with me right now. I'm going to put the invitation into the comments as I close this broadcast. And what will happen is it's still happening behind the scenes. And if you come on, then you and I will talk. We won't be on screen and we will have our moment right now. So if any of that works for you, please let me know. In fact, if nothing else, I would really like your feedback on this course. If this is not the right time for you, I understand. But the 3 days that we've met, I would love to have some feedback, and I will send you a link that will take you into my feedback and my comment section. And if you could leave me a review for this course and comments about how it went for you, I would really appreciate it. All right. Well, I'm excited. I'm going to drop that link in just a moment, and I hope that I get to see you. Take care.